Hello and welcome. Today we are at Legoland Windsor and finally we are going to be able to do a full loop and a tour of this Legoland park. Now as you can see we're starting down by the castle section and there's some little hidden Easter eggs dotted around within these models, so you can see the little mouse hidden in his pocket. And then within certain instruments that are being created from this blacksmith there are initials within, and then obviously you've got the pig with his head stuck in. So we are going to do a loop and a tour. We're going to actually start and finish here, which is a really random way of doing it. I just could not be bothered to walk all the way up to the top of the park to start the video, to then do a full loop round, to then finish at the top of the park. So we're going to start and finish just around within this castle section. Now individually every single area is available in a much more detailed video within its own playlist. We'll try and get on whatever rides we can get on, include the queue lines, all the different models and everything like that. But this is literally just going to be a case of how you can do a full loop of the park. It's not going down every single path because we will actually go up the bit that was closed and unavailable in the last time we came here to do this video. And as you can see from the map, there is actually quite a large area. So where that circle is where we are currently. And we're just going to go all the way around. So we're going to go up and around by the Viking River Splash, then finally get up to the top of the park itself. Have a look at some of the shops, and then we're going to make our way down. We'll have a look where the Bugatti is, then we'll cut through and round, go all the way through the Lego City Park, loop it round, back through Mythica, and so on and so forth. So we are not going to go down every single path. That's why this video is not called a full park tour. It is a full loop of the park instead. Now there are multiple rides going down. This day was extremely busy. I don't know if it was just because it was almost at full capacity and they didn't have enough members of staff on the rides sort of doing the queue lines and things at the same time as well. I do believe actually there was a problem with the queue box, which is their fast track. I think too many people had bought a queue bot, which basically meant that every single person was going down the fast track access and the actual normal queue was not moving whatsoever. Now, to the right hand side you can see was a swinging ship. Directly behind me is the play area. To the left hand side is the Enchanted Forest, which we have actually gone through in a different video, and as always, completely empty. There's nobody through it at all. Plenty of rubbish bins dotted around the park as well, and within this section of the park there's actually quite a lot of nice models that they have got. Some of them are new, some of them look brand new. So we've got this chap just here, and this is the one where he's with the cannonballs and the big cannon and everything. That to me looks almost brand new within the last year or so. And then as we loop and come round again, there are other models available within this section. Some of them have been there for a while, some of them have been taken out and replaced with older ones, and so on and so forth. I have yet to get on the log flume at this park since 2019, because you're not allowed to go on the ride by yourself. In 2020, obviously they weren't pairing people up because of COVID, and I have yet to be able to come back here to go on this ride with anybody because of the actual queue length of the time that I was here this time. So a little bit annoying, because I think they have updated a lot of the models within that ride as well. So if you could let me know in the comments below if you have been here for the 2022 season currently, or especially over the summer period, then again please do let us know. This was filmed the week before the children broke up for the 2022 summer season, but you can see how busy it is. So I was very surprised that it was so busy, but then some of the schools had split up a couple of days prior to this, so maybe everybody had the same idea. Some of the queue lines, depending on what time you come, are extremely busy, some of them aren't. So we actually have done this part of the walk in a completely separate video where we went from the Rebuild the World section all the way down, and all the rides that we will see within this bit, the queue lines were absolutely ramsacked, but that was because it was right at the start of the day. So because these uploads are quite close together, they're probably about 2-3 weeks apart with regards to that one and this one, it is quite interesting to see that if you come back this way basically after lunch, it's very, very quiet, because everybody, as you can see, had actually bombarded into where the dragon was, and the swinging ship ride and the log flume got extremely busy as well. And it's not until towards the end of the day where the people that did not come down this way, which is obviously that's why I'm going to do a loop, The people that didn't come down this way but go home to come up this way, that is when it gets extremely busy again for the Vikings River Splash, because a lot of people tend to do the water ride last, have a spare pair of clothes with them in the car, get changed, put some dry clothes on, then just leave, which does make sense. So that is why the log flume tends to get extremely, well, it's extremely busy all the time, but it's obviously very, very busy in the last sort of hour and a half. And then this ride will be mega busy first thing in the morning, just because of the walk that you can do to get down, because it's just an easy access to come down this way, because now you have got 3 different ways down to the bottom of the park, and it spits you out into completely different sections, and you'll see what I mean once we finally climb to the top. But yes, it is extremely steep this way, so it's not really suitable for a pushchair, and it's not suitable at all for wheelchairs or anything like that. It is super smooth, but it is extremely steep. There is a land hill train which you can go on absolutely no problem with buggy and wheelchair access. You can see now that the queue line was all the way to the end of that. It was like a 90-minute queue in the last video, and now there's hardly anybody there. So again, lucky dip. I say hardly anybody there, it's still a good wait, but nowhere near as busy as what it was. And again, they are spitting people through as quickly as possible, but it's just the park location of this ride and the time that you come on. But what I do like about this is obviously there's lots of models to look at. Back onto the hill train, you can see the hill train just there. That just happens to be perfect timing, so that is something you can get on at the bottom or back up at the top, and obviously you can go from one way to the other. Where it drops you off at is in sort of the middle of the park. So as you were to get off, you would have the Ninjago section to the right hand side, the Lego City, if you walked to the left hand side, that's where you would be. And then you kept going, you would then hit the adventure bit and the Pirate Shore. So it is a good drop-off location for that. If you were to go down the way that we're about to loop round and come down, you will see exactly where you'll end up, but that does also fork off into a couple of different bits as well, where you can either go down with buggies, or you can go down the steps, you can go down the slides. A lot of people don't realise actually where the slides are, there is a buggy access as well around that way, and it's a little bit tight maybe for wheelchairs, but you can get a pushchair down that way, so it's sort of a bit hidden. So if you've got bad knees and you're not comfortable with stairs, but you still want to go down that way to look for your little one, there is a sloped path as well. So there's lots to have a look at. This is the Dragon's Nest. Now this here is all new for the 2022 season, but the space is where all of the stuff where we started the video, all of that used to be there. So what they did is they pulled all of those models out for, I do believe, 2020 or 2021 season. They added all of that in. I think it works a lot better within that area, because all of those models with the pigs and the blacksmith, obviously now they've got a blacksmith set which links in perfectly to the new Lego castle and everything like that, so they were very clever with regards to actually moving those models further down. And what they've done is they put a dragon's nest. I said in a previous video it'd be really nice if they added a couple of more models on the way down to the Viking River Splash. The dragon's nest links to the Viking River Splash. Now all of these models have been changed recently, because a lot of these used to be Star Wars models. They've all been taken out to the right hand side over the sort of the barrier just there. If I did stop and look over, there's a lot of models that you can see going up on the hill train, a lot of rainbow models as well, and you've got this absolutely massive dragon which tells the time. Huge thing. You can get all the full information with regards to the brick count on that in the Rebuild the World section, which is just to the left hand side of the shop. We have literally just walked past that. Now we're at the top of the park. I skipped that bit to try and change a battery, and now we are in the Coffee Co. So this has got, as you can see, full of little models dotted around everywhere. All I've done is just walk past, so the bit to my left and behind me is where you would order your coffee. I've just walked past all the tables and just had a quick look in there. Now you've got the storage lockers to the left hand side, and then you've got a little giraffe directly in front. There'll be another big model to the left hand side, which I'm sure most of you will recognise. If you don't, then well, I'll let everybody answer that in the comments below, but it's from quite a famous film, or a well-known film, should I say. But I suppose it does depend if you're a Marvel or DC fan, and that is something that we are talking about in the lives currently. The video will cut in a second because there's just endless school trips coming through. This was no more than 5 minutes apart, and then it cleared, and then it got very busy again, because like I said, a lot of people are now starting to leave the park, and they are coming up this way. It was probably about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. The rides were open until 5, the shop shut at 6, so they had extended the hours ever so slightly, which is great, because last time I came, all the rides actually closed at 4, the shop shut at 5, which I was amazed about, because Billund was nearly 2 hours longer than that on the same week. So I'm not too sure why the Windsor Park was closing so early when there was so many people here, but they listened and they extended the hours very quickly, and obviously they would have extended the hours again over the summer break, which I hadn't gone for. I did not want to risk going in a 6-week summer holiday, because I can imagine just how crazily busy it is. Right, so what we've done, we've skipped a little bit, and now we are walking down, which is perfect for pushchair and wheelchair access. Yes, that is a floor, that is my legs as we are walking down. It's just nice and simple. It's a really nice smooth path. There's no stairs, no nothing, and to the right hand side we have got the hill train just there, so you can see that we had looped around the hill train where the Marvel Hulkbuster model was at the top, and now we're coming down. But what you could have done is you could have gone down the slides and stairs, which we have done a couple of times before. It's not as green as this, it's not as spacious as this walk. That literally just walks you in a straight line. You go down multiple stairs, multiple slides, which they do actually then block off towards the end of the day to encourage you to sort of skedaddle and leave. So if you are thinking, oh, I know what I'll do is just to kill some time on the way up, I'll wear out my little ones and get them on the little playground areas, they close at the same time as the rides as well. So if you want to use them on the way into the park, so you can guarantee that your little ones can get down on the slides and everything else like that. Now we're coming to basically what is a roundabout. I say a roundabout because for COVID they were very, very clever, and they split up all the park. This is where you can now see that all their pricing structures change for the different bits and pieces, but we are at a roundabout. You've got the little T-junctions and everything. Walk up that way, that'll take you to the little play slides. You can go up the stairs. Now we are going down the stairs because I'm cutting through. If I was to go right, which is what I did in the last video, that is where you would then carry on going with your pushchair, your wheelchairs, it loops around, and there is a plane. Now we are at the Technic Dragon, so the big dinosaur, sorry, the big T-Rex, which you can see how wet it is. It's soaking out water. I'm surprised it actually is continuously spitting out mist. I'm quite surprised that there is so much mist being spat out. Now we're coming into here, we're going to have a quick look at the Bugatti. This is a big building area for the coral reefs and everything else, so you can build some fish and everything in there. I'm not going to go in there, going to loop it back round and just carry on going, because like I said, there is quite a lot to see, but that is the big Lego reef just in there. Now when we first came down the stairs, you can see you could actually fork off to the right hand side. If we went right, that would have taken you directly into the Miniland. Now there is a video available from this day which I filmed, which was nearly 2 hours long, of just the Miniland itself. It's a super detailed video of everything. We go through all of the vehicles, every single land, and I've done that for every single park that I've been at. So if you want to see all of the Minilands and the Lego house ones and the ones from Billund and Dubai, all in great detail, there is a separate Miniland playlist. Also, all the playlists are individual. I'm saying this in every video now, just so you know that there are multiple playlists of video available with videos in from different parks. So you've got the Dubai, Billund, Windsor, and so on and so forth. This ride has bugged me for ages. This used to originally be the Team Extreme, then it was some slide races instead. You've got the queue line that comes up and round, which is now gone. The artwork has even been peeled away from this as well. This never used to be here a year or so ago. You used to be able to actually walk up and go over and have a look where the slides were, but you've got all the netting and everything. That ride used to get you absolutely soaked, and it used to loop round where the golf course is. So you can see there are actually some models in there from the Mole Golf, which I miss greatly because there were some amazing Lego models in there, but there are some little Easter eggs related to that just there. I think maybe they are going to rip this ride out eventually, but if you are in the know and you know somebody that might know, is it going to be a completely different ride? Are they going to extend the Duplo section, or are they going to put something completely different there? Because bearing in mind how hot it was in 2021 and obviously in 2022, and they ripped all of the artwork away for that ride, It's not been open for a good couple of years now, so I would really love to know what the plans are for that, because it was good fun, but the queue, it just didn't really have a high turnover because you just couldn't get that many people on it. But it was you used to sit down in like a little blow-up raft. Basically, it was a water slide. You could have easily have used it with a different slide, sorry, a different thing that you'd sit on for the slide, and just wear your swim stuff and go shooting down. It was one of those where you got really, really wet if you took the corners too quickly, so maybe it put people off. I don't know the reason why they've closed it, but to be honest, it's not really a surprise. But it has gone through multiple themings, and it has been in the park for many, many years. We have skipped the Duplo section because it was just so busy and full of little children. It's easy enough. You walk down past the Dragon roller coaster, you walk maybe 2 or 3 minutes. There's multiple rides to the left and right hand side, which is all full of little baby ones, which I'm not going to be filming for obvious reasons. I've got a video available in this section of the park which is completely empty, and we have, like I said, got all of the sections of the park available in much greater detail as we go around. But like I said, I didn't really expect it to be as busy as what it was, but it is what it is because it is a theme park. So sometimes it is going to be really busy, sometimes you're going to go there and it's going to be absolutely empty. But there are plenty of tickets available, I do believe. So I've been before where it said sold out, pre-book only, and it felt just as busy as what it is now. So yeah, it was just a bit of a surprise. I don't know if it was just more capacity or what it was, but if you read the comments online, a lot of people are sort of saying the same thing. It felt quite busy. Now, just try a different camera angle if it looked all right coming sort of from my hip. So as sometimes it is really busy, it was a little bit easier for me to actually see because I wasn't looking through the camera. So I just held it a little bit lower to see what it was. We are now in the Lego City section. So we've got the HQ Coast Guard, little boat ride, some big Lego models on that side, and then this, I do believe maybe it actually used to go around this way, and they've redone it and changed it ever so slightly because they've now put in the haunted house. But what they are now doing is making a good effort with adding in lots of Lego models and things there. It's quite nice that is there with the open water, just because it's just nice to look at. Now, if you were to cut down in a straight line, you can then get to the Heart Lake City and the Friends section, but like I said, we are just going to do a loop. So this is this is a haunted house, completely different to the Billund haunted house. Again, individually, different playlists, individual rides, both of them, and we've got like a comparison video as well where you can sort of make up your own mind which you prefer. I much prefer the actual Billund whole theming and all of the Lego models and everything like that. But with regards to the actual ride, the ride on this one is massively different. The ride in Billund is more like a little Unikitty disco drop tower. So we've got the Fire and Ice from Mythica, but anybody that's got the Lego Movie 2 section is that sort of ride, but it's more of a dark ride, whereas this one, it's more of a false floor ride. But this is very much a case of you queue up to go on the ride, whereas the other one is a massive walkthrough attraction, and you can do the ride if you want to. So in the comments below, if you've done both, let me know what you prefer. If you've seen them on both of the playlist videos, again, let us know what you think. So this is the big deep sea diver. Again, comparing it to the one in Dubai, this is exactly the same. It's just got different fish. The one in Billund is a walkthrough attraction done by the Sea Life Centre. But all of them do have similar endings with regards to where you can actually see the fish. So we will walk into that now, and we will have a quick look with regards to what is available. So I think I'll stick my head through, and then again, just either put a different memory card in or do something, and then it will cut, and we will just go in a little bit further. So get yourself ready for it. Off. There we go. So we are now in. No flash photography. Video is absolutely fine, so don't be one of those people that do flash photography because it will massively affect the fish, and it's just a silly thing to do. But you can see I'm glad actually it came out quite clear on this camera. I have tried it with a different camera in the past and it was just really dark, whereas this one is a little bit brighter. I think it works out to be okay. It is extremely echoey within this section because you literally just come straight off. Everybody's super excited from seeing all the sharks and the tiger shark and whatever else is in there. And then now you can just come out and have a look at some more of the fish. I have never ever done the special feeding times and everything else like that. So if anybody has done that, because we have got a couple of people that do drop comments saying that they've done VIP bits where they've gone around the park and for tours and things, I would love to do that. I know there is a big package in Billund which includes going around the Lego house, and then you've got access to other bits and pieces. I think it's a factory tour included as well. I would love to do that and spend a couple of days just going around filming everything and just making some absolutely amazing memories. But I do believe you can do packages for when you have the feeding time for the fish, and you can either see them being fed or actually feed them yourself. So if you have done that, let everybody know in the comments below. And basically, is it worth the money? That's what everybody wants to know now, because obviously everything's getting more and more expensive. Is it worth your time? Is it worth the money? And again, that is what I'm trying to go over now in more greater detail with accommodations and stuff, and the better places to stay to make it as cost effective as possible, because you do really realistically need 2 full days at the park when it's busy to get round everything and soak everything in, and then go back on your favourite rides again. If you were to stay at the hotels that are on site, so that takes us to the Castle Hotel, which we're about to have a look at right now, and the actual Legoland Hotel, you do get early access to the park up to a certain point. So we've just walked through a big door. Those doors get locked after about an hour or so after the park closes. So if you are staying in the hotel, everything that we are doing now, you have full access to this at night, lit up, looks absolutely fantastic. That is one thing I will say about this. It looks beautiful lit up, but it is a hotel. It's a bit like it's a bit harsh to say, but it's like a fancy travel lodge. You know what I mean by that? You've got a bar area that you can sit down, there's little bits and pieces to do. There's not a massive amount of games and things for the children to play apart from the stuff within the hotel room, or there is a little area with entertainment put on down there. So they've utilised the space absolutely perfectly. Because the Billund Hotel is about 5 or 6 times the size of this with regards to square footage, there are massive amount of games to play, and you can just spend the evening exploring and walking around, and they've just got a lot more on. So it's worth staying at this hotel once, just because of what's in there. The theming is absolutely fantastic, the carpet's amazing, everything's amazing. But when it is peak season, it is extremely expensive. I've seen the rooms going for £500+ a night, where if you go to Billund and you go in the off season, you can get a flight to Billund realistically for 75 quid, because you need to take luggage, and then you can stay at the hotel over there for £150 a night. The hotel, there's a lot more to do there, but the theming's the same, the rooms are the same ish. I would say the rooms here are more comfortable than ones in Billund because they're bigger, but the actual hotel is bigger for the one in Billund. So let us know what your thoughts are with regards to everything. I have been very, very lucky to stay in a couple of the rooms at Legoland Windsor off-peak, and the hotel is fantastic. Don't get me wrong, it is amazing. And the castle as well, I've stayed in there once, and the theming, everything's brilliant. I am going to try and get back in there and just film the rooms and everything for everybody, because I think it's something that everybody would really like to see. But if you are thinking of money's getting tight, I want to do something special for the little ones, do I do either a night at Legoland Windsor and then the 2 days, or if it was the same price including your car parking, hotel and accommodation to get to Billund, and you've got to think of the fuel costs and everything like that, if it was exactly the same because of the extra stuff that you could do in Billund, I would say Billund. If you can't get over there and you don't drive and whatever else, but you do want to have a fantastic experience, the hotel at Legoland Windsor will not disappoint. You can spend a huge amount of time looking around, soaking in all the theming and everything else. The reception area is absolutely fantastic. They are covered as much as possible in the accommodation playlist. I know how important it is to people now not to basically waste money. You won't be disappointed, but it will cost a lot of money if you go in peak season. So just bear that in mind. Moving on to the Mythica section. Now, within the Mythica section, this is new for the 2021, and the new 2022 bit opened up for the Magical Forest. We have lots and lots of these models about. These, I think, are brilliant. The Magical Forest will not be part of this tour because we've already walked past the entrance to that, but we are just doing a quick loop round the actual Mythica section. There are a couple of different videos now available within the Legoland Windsor 2022 playlist for this area of the park. We've done a really good detailed loop around the Mythica section where we've actually gone into Night of the Lion Sky. I don't even think I walked down it. It was just so busy down that bit. This is the latest model to be added in. I think this was done by an 8 or 9-year-old, designed by, this was a competition winner. I think I'd get over there. So it was done by Zoe, age 9. So Zoe, for the Beauty Beast, that is a cracking idea. It's a very bizarre section, but the ride is absolutely brilliant, and I think the theming's fantastic. But this, they're going to have to either push massively in lots of the other Legoland parks, or it might just be a Windsor only thing. I don't know, because this was the whole big debate. We do not have the Lego Movie 2 section, whereas a lot of you do. We have the Mythica instead, but that is all to do with, I do believe, Disney issues and things. Now, back in the day, this used to all be pirate theming. This now no longer is. We are now in the Heart Lake City. Huge friend section. This, I do believe, is one of the bigger friend sections that you can actually go to in any of the Legolands that I visited. And this is including the friend section over in Florida. They don't have one in Dubai. Billund, they don't want to have one either. Germany, I think they have a little section, but nothing absolutely massive. And there's a couple of other parks that I've been to as well. Fantastic area, really bright and colourful, and it mimics and matches all the Lego sets nicely. And the reason why there's a bottleneck is you can see that the train doors are just allowed to open up, and the barriers, shall I say, and now we can just walk through into the next section of the park. So in the comments below, what are your favourite sections so far? Because obviously each land, I keep saying it, is available in a much greater detailed video. I've not bothered to take out the bits where I point the camera at the floor because obviously I was still moving. It just got so busy, I don't want to be filming people's faces and things like that. So it's just one of those. It's more of a raw loop, shall I say. This, I've said a couple of times, it'd be nice if they actually brought this theme back in Lego form. I think it would do extremely well, and it would probably make a very good Lego TV series at the same time. It sold, I do believe, very well back in the day in '97. But they were going through a bit of turmoil at the point, so they just went back to basics with regards to all the Lego City bits. Right, we skipped again onto the bridge. This bridge is where the train goes round. There is again available train as a completely separate video where you can see all the models on the tracks. Now, if we went directly right, that would then take us to the bottom of where the hill train is. Like I said, we're not doing that. We're doing a loop, not a full tour. Big Ninjago section in here. You've got 2 rides and a shop in this Ninjago section. It's a little bit tight on the face, but they did manage to squeeze it in a good part of the park. I can't actually remember what used to be there originally. I don't think there ever used to be anything, unless it was just shrubbery, because this Pirate Shores has been here for as long as I can remember. And then further down, the Dragon roller coaster again was there. So it's almost as when they first opened up the park. There is a full history of the park available in the model making studio video, and it has every year of when the new things got added and introduced. And we just went around and saw everything up in the model making studio, which I thought worked really well, because it gives you a better understanding of how they open up stuff and the location of where they open up the different bits and pieces. So we are walking through the Pirate Shores. They're new models. The models that we've just looked at are also new, and they've added in a lot of new artwork, I do believe, for the gold bit. And there's some nice models within the Burger Kitchen as well, again available in a much bigger tour video separately for the land. But this has had a little bit of TLC, and it has also had a new pay to play, which I was actually quite surprised about, because over in Billund, and I think in some of the other parks as well, they're doing more building rides. When I say building activity, shall I say, and they were making a lot of boat races. So what you would have to do is you have to make your boat. It went up at the top, it dropped around at the top, it snaked round, and then you just basically had a race to the bottom. This would have been perfect, because you could have made a pirate ship. It would have been directly outside of the log flume, water by water, and I thought it would have worked quite well. I am now running out of time. So, guys, as always, if you can like and subscribe and all that good stuff, that'd be absolutely fantastic. Hopefully you've enjoyed this loop. Yes, I know I've been pointing at the floor and all sorts of bits and things like that, but we have caught as many Lego models as possible. But the main thing is, if you've enjoyed it, let me know. If you are thinking of coming here, let me know. How does this compare to your local Legoland park? But guys, as always, thank you very much for watching. You guys take care and I hope to catch you in the next one. Ta-da.